to another episode of Killer Kitchen. I'm your host, Vincent Victorian. And tonight we're going to try something a little bit different. Hopefully I don't get in too much trouble with the copyright shit. We're going to watch my favorite episode of Tales from the Crypt. And periodically, we're going to be checking back in. This episode stars Christopher Reeves, better known as Superman to you, those of you old enough to remember the real Superman. And in this episode, he plays a chef who decides to start serving his customers to his customers. And in honor of this episode, we have some pork riblets. So, if you'll join me in the kitchen, I will show you how to make the perfect riblets, and we might even have something a little extra in store for tonight.
From the crypt. Next time I book a table for 8 o'clock, Wolfgang, I expect to be seated at 8 o'clock. A good wine. Not a great wine, but locally grown, that's for sure. A pleasant enough bouquet. Almost reminds me of a good scream sherry. I hope you brought your appetites, kiddies, because tonight's tasteless tidbit is something I'm sure you'll savor. It's a real Epigorean delight about a nice young couple who find the restaurant business a little hard to swallow. I call this adventure in fine dining What's Cookin'?
Well, seems you've caught me in the middle of prepping tonight's meal. Now, biggest thing when you're doing this, you gotta make sure you remove the intestines and get yourself in there. Gotta get to them riblets. Now, you know really what riblets are, is the parts of the rib that the butcher shaves off to give you that nice flat slab that you're buying. There we go. Got her prepped. Gotta get these intestines out of there, you know? Let's throw them down there. Now, there you go. And for tonight, we're going to be showing, again, Tales from the Crypt, What's Cooking. So why don't we start the show while I prep the body and cut the ribs.
I don't know. Maybe we need to expand the menu. What about squid kebab? That could be interesting. I got it. Squid on a stick. Yeah, squid on a stick. It's a finger food and a takeaway food all in one. It's great. Our troubles are over. Squid on a stick's gonna be the thing that puts this place on the map. Honey, if you bury that thing in the back of my neck, you're just gonna wreck the blade. It's a real expensive cleaver. They don't make them anymore.
Squid on a stick is an even stupider idea than owning a restaurant that only serves squid.
Honey, you gotta remember what they said to Colonel Harlan Sanders back in 1956, right? A chicken restaurant, Colonel Sanders? You must be mad. That's madness. You can count me in. Honey, we're gonna be the Baskin-Robbins of seafood.
I think Irma's onto something, Fred. Squid is nice and all, but maybe a little diversification would be good.
Who asked you anyway, Gaston? You're just a drifter, for Christ's sake. What do you know?
Well, I know this much, that anybody can become a drifter if they try and sell somebody something that they don't want. Now, I have this recipe for barbecue.
Barbecue? Any idiot can do barbecue.
Not my barbecue.
Well, look, thanks for your help, but I pay you to clean up. Now just clean up, okay? Hey, Phil.
Morning, Fred.
How you doing? Tough night?
Tough ain't the word. Between the muggers and the killers, I'm getting too goddamn old for this shit.
Well, we got your squid sandwich coming right up.
No offense, but I don't think I could stomach Squid McMuffin today.
Hey, Phil. Let me guess. Squid.
Hey, I'm sorry for what Fred said before.
Well, the man's a visionary. I respect that. What I can't figure out is what a classy lady like you is doing with a guy like him.
Well, maybe it's like you said, he has a vision.
Uh-huh. You ought to leave him. And come live with me. I've got vision too, you know.
Well, that's sweet, but, thanks for the offer. I'll see you tomorrow.
Would you like me to walk you home?
No, I'm okay. I can take care of myself. Guys, Fred's gonna be home soon. Bye.
Mr. Chumley. Hi.
I want you to feel free to remind me if I'm wrong. But last week, did we or did we not have a conversation in which you agreed you would deliver into my hands yesterday the 3 months back rent that you owe me?
Yes, sir, we did say something along those lines.
And what day is today? Is today yesterday? No. Today is today. And do you know how I know that today is today? Because if today were yesterday, I'd have a check in my hands.
Mr. Chumley, business is picking up. I mean, if you could just find it in your heart to give me a little more time. Can I get you something to eat?
No. The only thing that I want from you is my money.
Well, I could write you a check, but
You ain't got it, right?
No, sir.
Then I'm gonna be back tomorrow with an eviction notice and a new set of locks. One other tiny little thing. You're one lousy cook. You fat son of a bitch! You can't do that to me! Don't you go.
Mr. Chumley. I'm sorry. I don't know what came over me. Mr. Chumley.
Chumley, you all right? I'm sorry. I didn't mean it.
You're crazy! I'm calling the cops! You hear the cops?
Oh, Mr. Chumley, please. You don't understand.
The cops!
Mr. Chumley. Oh, the other half left.
Well, looks like Mr. Chumley got himself into a bit of a jam, huh? Speaking of jam, we are making riblets, pork riblets tonight. Now, when you're starting these, the best thing to do is take your pan, cover it in tin foil. This is going to catch all your grease, everything coming off that you're cooking, and it will allow you easier, not just for cleanup, but for those of you like me that like to save onto the grease for other things, this is a good catch-all. Stick the grate in on top. And what you do is you want to take this cooking spray. You can get Pam, any kind. I buy the cheap shit because I'm cheap. And it's all basically the same. You know? Unless you're looking like for Fruity Pebbles or Kellogg's Frosted Flakes, it's all the same shit. You know, there are certain things the name brand is better. It's kind of like chocolate syrup. You buy that generic shit, it's okay, whatever. It's chocolate, if you want to say that. But if you want real chocolate syrup, you buy Hershey's. You know? That's why Hershey's has been in business for years on end, and this generic shit sits on the shelf for years on end. So, I'm going to give this a good spray down. We're going to take these ribs. Here, I'll show you this. Now, I've had these marinating since 3 o'clock this afternoon. What we've got on here, I'll show you, is we've got steak sauce, hot sauce, and my own special seasoning blend. Now, you could really season any way you want. I like to use a little bit of everything. So I've got I have some, excuse me, things are a mess. I've got some garlic pepper in there, and I've got some paprika in there, meat tenderizer, and I even used a little bit of this. It's Tone's taco seasoning. Now, that is really good for tacos, but again, this stuff is lacking, so I add to this. What's in here is not all that's in here. I've added my own blends, my own herbs and spices to it to give it my flavor. Because for me, it's not just about cooking the meat and making it look good or just taste good. I want meat that when you bite into it, you know you're biting into something that's flavorful, juicy, that just takes you in. In the meantime, while this is cooking, I'm going to get back to the show, and we'll see exactly what happens with Mr. Chumley and what happens with the diner. I gotta be honest though, who would make a diner that serves only squid? Number one, squid, I don't know how many of you out there have had squid. I have had squid several times. When it's not prepared right, it's probably the most grossest meal you'll ever have next to liver and onions. And I mean, a lot of you guys, you might like your liver and onions. Again, if it ain't prepped right, it's disgusting. And for my taste buds, even when it is prepped right, liver's fucking gross. I don't know how you can eat liver. Liver is what processes all the waste that's coming out of your ass, and you're gonna put this in your body? Have fun with that. You know. But, so yeah, let's get back to the show. Hey, you know, interesting fact, too, with this episode, they got Christopher Reeves, as I mentioned earlier. Now, Christopher Reeves was very adamant. He wanted this episode. He was so tired of being looked at as always the good guy, the superhero, because of his role in Superman, that nobody could see past that role. No matter what he did, they just saw Superman, which is really funny. I mean, the guy was an icon all through the 80s. And probably, in my opinion, the only real Superman there is, unless you go to George Reeves back in the 50s and 60s. Now, most of you are not old enough to remember George Reeves. He was the original Superman in the TV show, all the way back. And when he died, Christopher Reeves was chosen for the part because he looked the most like George Reeves. So in 1979, they filmed the original Superman, and what you got was a masterpiece. And it was 100 times better than the show, and in my opinion, Christopher Reeves did 100% better than George Reeves ever did. So it's kind of an interesting detail that the man who played Superman wanted to play the role of a guy who kills and eats people. Yeah, it's funny too. A lot of people will sit there and talk about eating people, this and that, like how does it taste? Well, I've heard it tastes like chicken. I don't know, personally know. And that's probably for the best, because I've also heard that if you eat people, it becomes addicting. Here's the thing, though, too. Eating people is actually not healthy. Human meat doesn't contain any real vitamins. There's nothing there that's nutritious. It'll fill you up, but it's kind of like Chinese food. You're hungry again in an hour. So yeah, we're going to start these up. We're going to get these into the oven at 400. Get back to the show. Let's roll it.
Hi.
Hi. Well, you're sure in a good mood. Wearing perfume?
Well, I was walking home and all of a sudden I felt kind of sexy. You're home late. What kept you? What's the matter?
Mr. Chumley stopped by today after you left.
Oh, no.
No, honey, look, it's not as bad as you think.
Oh.
Really. Now listen to me. You still got a little room left in one of your credit cards, right? Right? So, we take some of that money and we buy a whole ton of pork.
Oh.
Pork, it's the other white meat.
Oh, just shut up,
Why not?
Fred. You should be thinking about how to keep us off the street, not how to put us even deeper in debt. I've given you every penny I have, and I've got nothing to show for it.
Well, what am I supposed to do? I don't know how to give up. Look, if you were to tell me right now that you never want to see me again, I'd understand. All I can say is, I'm sorry.
You're not going to get rid of me that easily. I married you for richer or for poorer. Besides, you owe me a shitload of money.
I think I'm gonna cry.
I'm going to make us some coffee.
There's no point in doing that today, Gaston. We're being evicted. Fred and Irma's is history. This is town. Hey, Phil.
What a night. I'm so goddamn hungry I could actually eat one of those stupid squid sandwiches.
We'll be serving coffee today, Phil.
Don't you have any eggs or something?
I don't know, we may have a couple left. And steaks?
Steak and eggs. Sounds great.
I didn't want to say anything because I was afraid that you guys would tell me not to. But you know that barbecue idea that I was talking about? Well, I took the initiative and spoke with this supplier that I know, and he gave me a really good deal. I hope you're not angry with me.
I ain't angry. I'm starved. Come on, let's throw one of those babies on the grill.
I hope you like it, officer. It's been specially cured. It's a secret old family recipe.
God, that smells good. Even your coffee tastes better. Hey, Fred.
Yeah.
Your landlord's a guy named Chumley, right?
Uh-huh, what?
You found his car in an alley near here. That and his empty wallet.
What happened?
Don't know. Looked like there was a hell of a struggle, though. Blood all over the place.
Blood? Is he dead?
Don't know. There was no body. The only other thing we know for sure is that he never made it home last night. Judging from what I saw in that car, if he's walking around, it's a miracle. Now, don't you overcook that, Irma. Like it nice and rare.
Whatever you've got cooking on that grill smells incredible. Throw one on for me, would you? Make that 2 of them.
Ladies? Yeah. Gaston, can I have a word with you, please? That's Mr. Chumley's handkerchief. Where'd you get it?
He gave it to me.
You're lying.
I can't believe you. I do you a favor and you call me a liar.
There's your steak. Hope you like it.
That's incredible.
God, you know, I can't believe what you told us about Mr. Chumley.
The city's turning into a goddamn sewer. I'll tell you, makes early retirement look better and better. If only I could find something else to do with myself.
Sounds good. Throw one on for me.
Hey, Gaston? Is this all the steak there is?
No, there's more back here in the freezer.
Well, could you bring some out front for me, please?
Sure thing.
I'm sorry, guys. I don't mean to accuse you of anything.
It's okay, man. I understand.
Hey, Gaston! We got people waiting.
Fred, can you hold this door open for me?
Yeah, sure.
Killed Mr. Chumley. Jeez, Fred, you make it sound so ugly.
You killed Mr. Chumley!
Yes, okay, I killed him. Just hold that door open.
Gaston, Fred, where are you? We've got customers.
He'll be right out there, Irma. Fred, get a grip. It's a dog-eat-dog world out there. And we're all just different flavors of Alpo. They don't keep the door open long. They'll spoil.
I don't know what the recipe is, but that's brilliant. Thank you.
We must have made $1,500 today.
Wow. Well, this is what the restaurant business is like. What's wrong?
Well, you know, it's just...
You don't like making money?
Gaston, you're a genius. How'd a guy like you ever end up on the streets, huh?
Well, you know how it is. A run of bad luck, and there you are.
Well, I'm going to take some steaks out of the freezer.
No. I'll do it. Why don't you put the chairs on the table, okay?
You and me gotta talk.
Yeah. You're damn right we gotta talk. This has gotta stop. I'm gonna call the cops.
And what are you gonna tell him, Fred? That I killed your landlord because you owed him money? Well, there's not a whole lot of motive in that. And besides, you're the one that attacked him with a knife last night. And there were lots of witnesses, all those guys that live on the street. And I wasn't even the one that cooked him. Your wife did that. So, you're gonna keep your mouth shut, aren't you, partner?
Well, looks like we found out what happened to Mr. Chumley, huh? Tough luck. Good thing for us, Meatloaf has enough fucking meat on his bones to be a meatloaf. Now, as a side dish tonight, we are going to make, in honor of the Squid Restaurant turned steakhouse, we've got the riblets cooked. They're just about done. And as a side dish, we are going to make a tuna salad. now that I threw it on the fucking cushion next to me. So we got a tuna salad. We got some rotini noodles here. 2 cans of Star-Kissed Chunk Light tuna in water. Not the oil. The oil is gross. Got a little bit of my own special chili seasoning blend just to give it a kick. And we've got some salt and pepper. So, we're going to get ready to get back to the show. We're going to watch the conclusion after the end of the show. And we can enjoy a nice riblet dinner with a side of tuna salad.
I've been saving this for the day when we had something to celebrate. I'd almost given up on the idea. I want to put it on some ice.
No, honey, you know, I'm really tired. We've been here all day. Why don't we go out and celebrate, okay?
Fred, what's the matter with you?
Maybe he had a vision.
Fred, Dick Schwartzberg just ordered seconds. He's a restaurant critic for the Daily Bugle. Do you know what that means? It means we're a hit. It means he loves us.
Really?
You see, Fred? It's your dream come true. It's exactly the way you wanted it.
We are all going to be filthy rich.
Yeah. Guess we are. You know, that's not bad. That is actually damn good. Yes, yes, we are going to be rich. There you go, sir. Rare and juicy like you ordered. Hey, Phil. How you doing? Usual?
My wife wants to know why I never eat at the house anymore. I told her, honey, if you make a mistake like these guys, I'd never leave the house. Hey, we got a break on your landlord. Seems there was this metal in the blood sample we took from the car. Very unusual alloy. Came from a brand of knife they don't make anymore. We're checking the company's records. See who they sold it to. I bet we ID the killer any day now.
$5, $56, $57. $7,857. We better start thinking about expanding. I gotta go tell Fred. Almost $8,000. That is their best day yet. What's eating you?
Don't say that. You hear me? Don't say that.
Don't get you. I'm going home.
Val, you're overreacting.
You heard what Phil said. They're onto it. We've had it.
Well, maybe we ought to think about putting Phil on the menu.
He's a cop.
not, for Christ's sake?
Listen, why don't you just go on home? I'll clean up.
No, I'm gonna clean up. I gotta think.
Suit yourself.
Be a way out of this.
See you tomorrow. I didn't mean to frighten you. Do you mind if I come in for a minute?
Why?
I'm worried about Fred.
Well, it makes two of us. I don't know what's wrong with him.
I do. He's feeling guilty. Irma, I don't know how to tell you this. It's Fred. He's been killing people.
What?
It's too horrible. This whole secret recipe thing, it's Fred's idea. It's not mine.
Are you telling me that we've been...
What do you think he's been doing every night that he stays at the restaurant late? I saw him the first time when he killed Mr. Chumley. I promised to keep his secret, but I can't do it anymore. I'm scared for him, Irma. He knows the cops are onto him. He told me tonight that he's going to kill himself. He took your gun.
Oh, my God.
I'm going to go back to the restaurant to try and stop him. Now, you call Farley and tell him to get down there right away.
God.
Irma, it's going to be okay.
Fred, you here? Back here, Gaston.
Do things my way. And I say you're gonna blow your fucking brains out.
Murder, suicide, plays much better. The distraught couple. The cops closing in. They were arguing, officer, when I got here. It was horrible. He picked up a cleaver and he fired!
You said that Fred was going to kill himself using my gun. Fred knows I never put any bullets in my gun.
Nope, never. I won't let her. Thanks for the phone call, honey. He got here just when you said he would. Now, what are we going to do with him?
I don't know. He has such a big mouth.
Big mouth.
I say he died.
Officer! Officer! Officer, thank God you made it. Here are the killers. They killed Chumley, and who knows who else.
Yeah. What to do? What to do?
What do you mean? Arrest them?
Yeah, I could do that, but you see, I've developed this taste. And this would solve my early retirement problem. Something to do with myself. Farley's flame broiled sound okay to you guys?
Sounds pretty good to me, Phil. What do you think, Irma?
I think it sounds downright mouth-watering, Fred.
Then fire it up. I'm starving.
It's already hot.
No!
Wow, that was one hell of an episode. That is my all-time favorite one in the entire series. I think more than anything, it's my favorite one because I do love seeing Christopher Reeves play another role besides the superhero. Anyway, the ribs are done. They're about to come out of the oven. And we've got the noodles ready to go for our tuna salad. Got some cream of mushroom soup to add in there. And I think while I mix this together, why don't we get back to the Crypt Keeper, let him have his say, and when we come back, we'll be able to sit down and have a nice meal.
I suppose it's a little too late for Gaston to save face. Talk about a flesh in the pan. I guess that's what happens when you put your money where your mouth is. As for me, kiddies, I say it's time for taps. Till next time, restaurateur in peace.
Wow, that was one hell of an episode. That is my all-time favorite one in the entire series. I think more than anything, it's my favorite one because I do love seeing Christopher Reeves play another role besides the superhero. Anyway, the ribs are done. They're about to come out of the oven. And we've got the noodles ready to go for our tuna salad. Got some cream of mushroom soup to add in there. And I think while I mix this together, why don't we get back to the Crypt Keeper, let him have his say, and when we come back, we'll be able to sit down and have a nice meal.
I suppose it's a little too late for Gaston to save face. Talk about a flesh in the pan. I guess that's what happens when you put your money where your mouth is. As for me, kiddies, I say it's time for taps. Till next time, restaurateur in peace.
Well, thanks for tuning in for another episode of Killer Kitchen. I'd like tonight to introduce Mrs. Angry 80s, our victim in this evening's skit. I did not just get that from Tales from the Crypt either. I kind of got that from several movies and shows that I'd watched. I think even Freddy's Nightmares did something like that once or twice. It was just fun. I've always wondered if I could pull it off, and I think tonight was just fun to try it. We're not always going to be able to show full episodes like tonight. I'm hoping I don't get in trouble for what I've already done tonight, but I had to try it, just for shits and giggles. If I can get away with it again, I will definitely try this again, and hopefully next time the editing will be a lot better. Tonight we were having major technical difficulties, as you've seen through tonight's episode. The audio is fucking up. I did the best I could. I hope you guys had fun regardless. This week I'll be spending working on certain other things and doing other things, details. I wanted to let you guys know, the way I did tonight's props, my wife actually laid on our table here, and I'd taken an old tank top, and I cut a hole into it, and took food coloring to dye it, round it with, like that. Because food coloring, if you notice, as it's dried, kind of turns almost like a reddish. It looks more the way what you would think. And for our intestines that I was pulling from our victim, it's just rope. Some rope I had laying around outside. I took and dyed that red as well. I had some dye and some food coloring to add. And it's just rope that I braided together and tied up real tight. It's about 6 feet, because that's about how large your intestines are. That's a real fact. You guys can Google that. It was just a simple prop. I didn't want to go all out because I also didn't want to totally scare anybody. And I wanted to let everybody know she's alive, she's well. I didn't kill anybody for real. I just wanted to have a little fun with you guys. You know, that's my job here, is to keep you entertained. And I enjoy it. And I'm glad that you guys think it is entertaining. So with that being said, we're going to bid you guys adieu. Wish you all a fantastic week. And we will see you next Friday at 6 p.m. for another episode of Killer Kitchen. Oh, yeah, you know, one thing I want to add before we go. I have to say it, you know, on that whole thing that I was talking about with the squid restaurant, I think it's always a bad idea if you have a restaurant or any theme that's just always the same damn thing. I mean, it gets old, it gets tiresome. I don't know about you guys. Yeah, I could read the same book 100 times, but by the fucking 99th time, I'm only reading it now because I enjoy the story, but I'm pretty sick of hearing it. You know, and the same goes for other details as well. So, I mean, that's why every week I'm trying to do something really a little bit different. I'm going to try different ideas out, just see how it kind of plays. I don't want to get old. I don't want to be one of these assholes that gets settled in and stuck in my little thing and I get fucking boring. Because one thing the Angry 80s guy will never be is boring. I'm the type of guy, you spend the night with me, and we might spend the whole night watching movies and eating a bowl of popcorn, but trust me, you never know what to expect with me. Because I might get up in the middle of that fucking movie and bust out some fucking bullshit and turn around and make a dead corpse while you're sitting there watching the show. And by the time the movie's over, you're thinking I'm sitting there with you, and you got a dead body just laying in front of you, and it's just shit that I threw together while you were fucking watching the show, because I got bored. Alright? I mean, I will keep you guessing. The Angry 80s guy is anything but boring. And that's why I like to be diverse. So if you guys stay tuned, this channel does have a lot more content coming up, a lot more stuff happening. And remember, we've always got something cooking in the Killer Kitchen. Night, everybody. I'm hungry and you guys are interrupting my dinner.